As we celebrate Black History Month, tonight we take you back to just after the Civil War. The Buffalo Soldiers were the first African-American Army regiments in the U.S. peacetime Army, with several stationed in Fort Davis. Tyler Dupnick has their story.
In the Davis Mountains lies rich history.
So the purpose of Fort Davis in itself was westward expansion through the United States.
Westward expansion that would not have been possible without the Buffalo Soldiers.
In 1867 and afterwards, all the way through 1891, all these African-American regiment troops are now stationed throughout the West. It's here through Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, even as far north as the Dakota Territory, where African-American soldiers were stationed.
Sebastian Flores is a park ranger at Fort Davis National Historic Site. He says it was at Fort Davis where it all started.
The 10th U.S. Cavalry is actually the first ones to get coined the term Buffalo Soldiers, and that is the room that you see here today is the 10th U.S. Cavalry Troop H.
The 9th U.S. Cavalry, as well as the 24th and 25th U.S. Infantry, also served at the fort. Their duties included road infrastructure, helping build the fort, and more.
And they also patrolled and protected travelers on the San Antonio-El Paso Road, not only from Native Americans, but bandits and outlaws.
Battles with Native Americans is how they got their nickname.
And when they engaged African-American soldiers in battle, that the African-American soldiers were in it to win it. They lasted a lot longer in battle to sometimes their white counterparts would be in the battle, but then they would retreat rather quickly. But they saw that same fighting tenacity as a dying buffalo as they saw inside the African-American soldiers, so hence the term Buffalo Soldier.
While keeping folks safe during westward expansion, they were also fighting for civil rights.
They still don't get a lot of the appreciation from regular, civilians. Like I was stated earlier, a lot of them still they could protect stagecoaches, but they couldn't ride the stagecoach.
Despite those challenges, they forged the path for future generations.
You hear terms like Henry O. Flipper, who was the first African-American graduate of West Point, served here at Fort Davis, and he paves the way for multitude of African-Americans to graduate from West Point afterwards.
And paved the way for the United States we see today.
After the Civil War and things kind of shooken up, the West was still this lawless West and still needed to be won. And so with that, Buffalo Soldiers stepped up to that role, right? So by Buffalo Soldiers stepping up to that role, they continued that engagement of America becoming that it is now, the fully joined sea to sea. And if it wasn't for Buffalo Soldiers, where would it have been?
Tyler Dupnick, News West 9, Fort Davis.